I'm Scarlett, and I recently moved to the beach. A couple of people said it might be fun to go on my beach walks with me. So I've been considering making these videos from time to time and sharing some of my beach finds with you. This is kind of a new thing for me, sans makeup and all that kind of stuff. So bear with me as I get comfortable doing something new. I recently moved to a tiny fishing village on the coast of Ecuador. For those of you who don't know, that's Pacific Ocean. I'm on the beach right now, and one of the things that I have found in the 6 weeks since we moved here is how much the beach changes from day to day. The last couple of days, something really strange has happened. And so while this is not necessarily where I would normally have started these videos, I didn't want to lose this opportunity. By the next high tide, just a few hours from now, it could be totally different, and you could miss this. So bear with me. Behind me is, I don't know what to call this. I don't know whether to call it a bluff or a cliff or what. But our terrain is such that the beach is normally much further down from where everything else in town is. And there's the ocean. I'm going to flip my camera so that you can see everything else. Okay, I'm back. I'm not entirely sure why. It's about 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're really hazy, foggy. It's potentially could be ash from a recent volcano eruption yesterday. But basically, this is our town and our beach in both directions. Normally, it's really high to get up to the streets, the town, the restaurants along this rocky bluff or whatever. But I'm estimating that right now I'm standing approximately 3 to 5 feet higher standing on the beach than I normally would be on this beach. It's been very freaky for about 2 days, and it seems to just be getting more and more that way. This is normally a really flat beach, and as you can see now, it looks like it's even more uphill. I know the lighting is not great. And we have these mountains of rocks that have been deposited, which for me, as someone who loves to beachcomb, is kind of cool, because that's where all the great shells are going to be. I'll be back tomorrow with more beach walking. Good morning. This is Scarlett bringing you along on my beach walk this morning. It's about 8 a.m. local time, and this particular area of the beach is one of my favorite areas for a multitude of reasons. One, it has these really cool flat rocks that are embedded, and when the high tide comes in, they're totally covered. And then when the tide goes out, we're about 20 minutes from low tide. All these fantastic little pools are created. And I look there for beach treasures. I'll be completely honest with you and tell you, so far, they haven't been very productive. But to me, they're just fascinating, and I love seeing them. We tend to walk in the early mornings when it tends to be cloudy here, because the UV index is extremely high and skin cancer occurrences are extremely high. So we tend to try to walk when it's cloudy. But another reason I love this area are the hills, because I do very much love the mountains. And so this feels like I'm still in the mountains, but at the beach too. I'll take you along for some of the view of these fabulous rocks and their pools. The surf is there, it's starting to come back in. This is about a mile or a little more than a mile away from our house. But at low tide, it's a nice walk. There's a bird. I'm not sure what kind of birds those are. We basically have frigates and pelicans and buzzards, of course. And we have these little guys that walk along the shore, and I'm not sure. They may be small pelicans. I am not good at birds or plants. Here's a deep pool on this slate kind of rock, which I just find fascinating. This weekend we're to have high coefficient tides, and for those of you who are not beach dwellers, what that means is that there's a high difference between the low tide and the high tide. When it's low coefficient, there's hardly maybe 3 or 4 different feet of difference between where the high tide and the low tide comes in. Oh, there's something in that water. Or maybe it's just the water skirting around. That was really cool. I don't know where it went, but there was definitely something in there swimming. There's a clip from today's walk on the beach. If I find something interesting on my way home, I'll show you. We haven't found much on the beach in the last couple of days. The big piles of rock are gone, and left behind are just a smattering of them. The coastline has dropped a little bit in height in some places, and in some places it seems higher. But usually where we find great things are in piles of rock. So I thought I would just let you see if you see anything. To be completely honest, there have been a lot of shells. But the number of shells that I seem to be accumulating is obscene. So I don't pick up things that I already have. Like this guy. So I will leave him for the hermit crabs, because I have plenty more. But what is that? That kind of looks like maybe the ugliest rock ever. But what if we turn it over? Look at there. It's very deep. It's hard to see in the color here. What do you think? Is that a keeper, or do we leave it on the beach? As mentioned in another video, I'm not a bird expert. I'm not sure what these are. I'm still pretty far away. I'm zoomed in. But it was fun watching them rush out to the water and then come flying back in. So I thought I would share them with you. I tried to get a little closer and they just moved up beach, so I'm gonna try some more. I'll be back. This is about as close as they will let us get. If anyone knows what kind of birds they are, I would love to know. They're very small. My video stopped on the way to see what this big whiteness is in the middle of a rock slick here. And oh my goodness, can you see? It's not a rock. And it's not garbage. Let me put my cane and the leash down so I can pick it up and show you. Looky there. What a great end to our walk today, huh? We checked to make sure there's nothing living in there before we consider taking them home, and there's just some sand. No sea creature, no hermit crabs in there. Wow. Thanks for coming along with me. Have a great day.